This wasn't just any old match. Everybody in that stadium knew they were about to see something special.
And John McEnroe just absolutely nailed it. He called it a collision of eras, and that's exactly what it was. On one side of the net, you've got the new king, the undisputed world #1, Carlos Alcaraz. And on the other, you've got the veteran challenger, Alexander Zverev, a guy who's been so close for so long, just searching for that one career-defining win.
And this really shows you the clash of styles we were in for. You had Alcaraz with that explosive forehand. I mean, it's like a lightning bolt. And then there was Zverev, armed with what was arguably the biggest weapon in the whole tournament, that massive, booming first serve. Two totally different game plans, about to smash into each other head-on.
So the match gets going, and right out of the gate, Alcaraz shows everyone why he's #1. He's powerful, he's creative, he takes the first set 6-4. And you're kind of thinking, okay, maybe this will be straightforward. Oh, how wrong we were. Because the second set, that's when the real story began.
Zverev comes roaring back. He finds his groove, powers his way to a 5-2 lead. For all the world, it looks like we're about to be tied at 1 set apiece. But then, Alcaraz just kind of decides he's not losing. He pulls off this magical escape, clawing his way back to a tiebreak and just snatching the set from right under Zverev's nose.
And this tweet right here, this is what it felt like to be a fan in that moment. Total disbelief. You can feel the adrenaline just jumping off the screen. It's when you realize you're not just watching a great athlete, you're watching someone who can literally bend a match to his will.
And this perfectly captures the two sides of that coin. For Alcaraz fans, it's proof of his genius. It's magic. But for Zverev fans, oh, it's just pure agony. It's that feeling of not again, watching a huge lead just vanish. You can feel the frustration, the heartbreak. All right, let's head to the third set, because this is where the match takes a really dramatic and super controversial turn. Alcaraz, who looked like a superhero minutes earlier, suddenly pulls up. He's grimacing, clutching his thigh. He looks like he's in a lot of pain.
And this right here became the million-dollar question. See, in tennis, if you have a real injury, like a muscle strain, you get a medical timeout. But if it's just a cramp, which the rules see as a fitness issue, you don't. You got to play through it. And that little distinction is where things got really, really heated.
You can just imagine the tension on the court. Zverev is adamant. He knows the rules and he is frustrated, basically yelling at the umpire, "This is a joke." The umpire is trying to keep things under control, but the momentum, the feeling of the entire match is now hanging on this one decision. And this argument spilled right off the court and onto everyone's phones. Fans were totally split. You had the rules are rules crowd on one side, you had the empathetic fans on the other, but the most important point here is the last one. The crowd inside the stadium started to turn on Zverev, and that changed the entire atmosphere. It got ugly.
So, what does Zverev do? He's now basically the villain of the story for a lot of people in the arena. And he takes all that negative energy, all that frustration, and he just channels it. He becomes a man on a mission.
And the stats show you exactly how he did it. He leaned on his biggest weapon, his serve, and just started dropping bombs. 17 aces, making 72% of his first serves. He was just untouchable. He blasted his way through the next 2 sets, winning both in tiebreaks, and boom, the match is level.
And so, here we are, a 5th and final set. Both guys are physically and emotionally drained. The crowd is on the edge of its seat. At this point, it's not really about tennis anymore. This is just a pure battle of wills. Who wants it more?
Let that number just sink in for a second. 5 hours and 27 minutes. That's a full workday for some people. These two athletes spent that entire time pushing their bodies to the absolute brink with everything on the line. It's just incredible.
And look at this. After all that time, after hundreds and hundreds of points, the difference between them is 6. Just 6 points. That's how unbelievably close this thing was. Every single rally mattered. Every shot was potentially the one that could decide it all.
This quote from a fan who was actually there just says it all. Zverev is serving for the match at 5-4. He is a whisper away from victory. But Alcaraz somehow, from somewhere, finds the energy to break back. And the arena just erupts. It wasn't a tennis crowd anymore. It was a football stadium. That's the power of a moment like that.
And that was it. That was the final, decisive momentum shift. Alcaraz, feeding off that insane energy from the crowd, finds one last push. He breaks Zverev's serve again and wins the match, 7-5 in the fifth. The whole place just explodes.
In this quote, straight from Alcaraz himself, just tells you everything you need to know. In the most critical moment of the match, he wasn't thinking about the trophy. He was thinking about the fans. He wanted to give them one last show. And that connection, that's what creates these legendary moments.
So when you look back at the numbers, you see Zverev's performance was absolutely heroic. Those 17 aces, just incredible. But in the end, it was Alcaraz's ability to just raise his game on those absolutely crucial points that made the tiny bit of difference. And that kind of leads us with this final thought. In a match that close, with all those twists and turns, what really separates the winner from the loser? Is it just raw skill? Is it pure endurance? Or is it something you can't even measure, like the energy of thousands of people pushing you to give them just one more sprint? That's what makes this match an epic for the ages.